Nächste Station, ESMT Berlin.
You've probably seen this building before, right in the heart of Berlin. And just across from the Humboldt Forum, where the Palace of the Republic once stood, sits one of the most interesting buildings in the city. But did you know that this place, home to over 1,000 students in MBA, PhD and Masters, hides an incredible history? Let's travel back to 1962, when the construction of the wall began in the heart of the Cold War. Now, Germany was split into 4 sectors, and Berlin was split into 2, the East and the West. We're currently sitting in the former East Berlin, capital of the German Democratic Republic, the GDR. So, what was this building used for? When it opened on October 3rd, 1964, it became the seat of the State Council, the highest governing authority of the GDR for 25 years. Leaders like Walter Ulbricht and Erich Honecker worked right behind these walls. After reunification, the building shifted roles several times, and between 1999 and 2001, it even served as a federal chancellery in a reunified Germany. Between 2003 and 2005, architect H.G. Merz led the major renovation project to modernize the building while preserving its historic structure. And those renovations gave us the beautiful campus that we see today. In 2002, 25 multinational companies founded ESMT Berlin. It was Germany's first and truly international business school with a global standing. The campus opened in 2006. Today, ESMT offers MBAs, Masters, PhD, and executive education programs to both students and executives from all over the world. And through it all, the building's socialist architectural identity remains. Its unique facade, leather-covered wood panels, Meissen porcelain tiles, and stained glass artworks echo its GDR past, making it one of the world's most distinctive campuses.
Inside, you will see how 60s architecture and socialist art blends with contemporary spaces built for today's students. Some of the most impressive spaces are the auditoriums. This is Auditorium Maximum, one of our largest spaces on campus. This was once a banquet hall, and now we use it for large events and celebrations like the graduation ceremonies or one of the conferences we just had, the Berlin Global Dialogue. We will explore each of these rooms in detail later, but even at a glance, they show how much this building has been transformed. Beyond the auditoriums, you will find lounges, meeting corners, quiet study areas, and plenty of spots where students connect between classes. It's a mix of historic rooms and modern upgrades. This building is also full of art. From huge glass installations to mosaics, these are one of the most photographed spots on campus. The public garden and the mosaic fontaine are the students' favorites, especially in summer. This was the quick tour, but there's so much more to explore behind every hallway, every room and artwork here at ESMT Berlin. Now to our nächste Station, the glass window.
Hello, my name is Daniela, and today I want to show you one of the most iconic artworks in the building, which is our 20-meter crystal mosaic. It was created in 1964 by Walter Womack, one of the most influential artists of the former East Germany. At the time, Womack was the official painter of the state. His art appeared in textbooks, public buildings, and even a fountain on East Berlin. And here he was given one of his biggest commissions. The GDR wanted something super bold, not religious feel, so the entire window was made using a new glue-based technique, which was super modern back then. The artwork tells the socialist version of the German workers' movement, from the 1918 revolutions movement to the ideally socialist future that the GDR wanted. At the bottom, you'll see the November uprising strikes and figures like the Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht, communist heroes in GDR ideology. In the center, Womack shows the trinity of the socialist state, worker, farmer, and academic, This was the vision of how society was supposed to function. Above them, the happy socialist family, symbols of peace, and scenes of industry, agriculture, even space exploration, a promise of progress. The window was restored in 2012 and remains one of the most important preserved pieces of GDR art, a mix of ideology, craftsmanship, and Cold War storytelling. Today, we look at the window mainly as a historical piece and for the artistic skill of detail that went into creating it. And now, it's part of the daily life of ESMT students. Nächste Station, Foyer und Lounge 1.
Hello guys, I am Enrico, a second-year master student in Innovation Entrepreneurship, and today join me in one of the most historically significant rooms, the former office of the chairman of the GDR State Council. Leaders like Walter Ulbricht and Erich Honecker worked right here in this exact space. Today it's used as a lounge and meeting room, but a lot of the original design has been preserved. The ceiling lights have history too. They are the same as the original fixture from the Palast der Republik, which was East Germany's combined parliament and cultural center, later dismantled to rebuild the former Berlin Palace. Right next door is a place that looks completely different but just as impressive. This is Foyer 1, one of the most elegant and flexible rooms in the building. It can transform into almost anything, especially as an event space for receptionists, dinners, and public events, with an impressive view of the Humboldt Forum in the Berlin Palace and beyond. At the center of this space, you will find this artwork, Christopher Lempul's Berlin Panorama. Painted in 2013 with his hands, was part of a major series documenting the reconstruction of the Berlin Palace, right outside our window. Together, the lounge and the foyer show how this building mixes political history, art, and modern campus life, all in just one floor. Stay tuned because next station is Auditorium 4.
Next up is Auditorium 4, a room that once played a key role in the political life of the GDR. Today, it seats up to 92 participants, but originally, this was the Diplomats' Hall of the State Council. This is where diplomatic briefings, official discussions, and international meetings took place. The walls are covered in cherry wood, not just for style, but for acoustics. The room was designed so voices could carry clearly during meetings. Even after being modernized for teaching, the room still has that formal, representative feeling. You can still sense how carefully controlled and symbolic everything was in the original design. And today, it's fully equipped for hybrid formats. This is actually one of the best examples of ESMT mixing history with modern digital teaching. So from state diplomacy to student discussions, Auditorium 4 really shows how this building's past and present blend together. Now stay tuned for Nächste Station, Chancellor's Office.
Now we are heading into one of the most historical important rooms in the entire building. This was originally the map room of the State Council, a working space where large wall maps could be rolled down during political planning sessions. If you look closely, a lot of the original structure from the 1960s is actually still here. After the reunification, this room took on a whole new role. From 1999 to 2001, it became the temporary office of the Federal Chancellor of the reunified Germany. The Chancellor's desk actually faced outwards, towards the people, which is a symbolic contrast to the JDR head of state whose office faced inwards. Today it is used for exclusive events and executive programs. Right outside the office, there's another space that almost everyone asks about. This small room is covered entirely in goatskin towels. Yes, real goatskin. Each towel is hand-covered and decorated with gold doves of peace. The whole room was a diplomatic gift from Mongolia to the GDR. It's also the only completely windowless room in the whole building, which is why people say it was the most secure spot at the time. Together, these two rooms show just how many layers of political history are built into this campus, and how seamlessly they've been adapted into ESMT's everyday life. And now, Nächste Station, Palace and Tower View.
Alright, now time for the two rooms that students absolutely love. Welcome to the Palace View Room. And yes, the name is very little. Right outside is the Berlin Palace. Baroque on the outside, museum in the inside. Berlin likes to keep things very interesting. This room is ideal for workshops of up to 50 participants and is perfect for seminars. But if you want to view with a little more skyline, come along. And yes, the TV tower insists on being on every shot. From here we get a direct line to Alexanderplatz and to the whole eastern skyline of Berlin. That's why these rooms always stay in demand. Bright, open, great for filming, since you always have an impressive backdrop. Nächste Station, Auditorium 1 and 2.
Now that we are up one floor, let's head to Auditorium 1 and Auditorium 2, two lecture halls created from what used to be a single ground functional room in the State Council era. Auditorium 1 is the largest of the two, with seating for 76 participants plus a wheelchair space. Today it's where the full-time MBA students spend a lot of their time. It's equipped with modern tech, but the architecture still hints at the building's original ceremonial purpose. Right next door, separated by this glass of wall, there is Auditorium 1, same history, different personality. This room sits for 58 people and still features one of the striking elements from the GDR national emblem. Created by the artist Henrik Jongeborg, the mosaic once stood as a highly symbolic element for official speeches and ceremonies. Both auditoriums keep parts of the historical interior, but function today as fully equipped teaching spaces. Simple, practical, and used every day. These are the rooms where the most classes take place on this floor.
Alright, time for the big one. This is Auditorium Maximum, the largest room on campus. Back in the GDR era, this was the banquet hall of the State Council. So yes, a lot of important dinners happen here. Today, it fits up to 360 people. Not so many banquets anymore, but we do have graduations and conferences. Along the wall is a porcelain frieze by Gunther Brendel, a visual tour of an idealized everyday life in the GDR. They show typical scenes, everything from work and technology to culture and leisure. The room has been fully updated for modern events, but the historical elements remain intact. Wir haben die letzte Station erreicht.
Hello, I'm Puneet, a full-time MBA student at ESMT, and today I'm taking you outside to the ESMT garden to see one of the most colorful gems on campus, the Mosaic Fountain. This fountain was designed in 1963 as part of the original landscaping plan by Hubert Mathes, one of the leading landscape architects of the GDR. The garden and the fountain were carefully aligned with the building's architecture, everything placed on a strict axis. Very 1960s, very intentional. The glass mosaic was designed in 1964 by German artist Otrod Lerch, a mosaic artist whose works shaped public spaces across East Germany in the 60s and 70s. The pattern grows from the center like a blooming flower, with vibrant blues, oranges, reds unfolding across the entire basin. These colorful mosaics evoke representations of nature and reflect artistic influences from artists like Miro, Kandinsky, and Matisse. Over the decades, the fountain had been significantly damaged and parts of the mosaic had deteriorated. Between 2024 and 2025, it was carefully restored, the mosaic relaid, the basin repaired, and the original fountain technology renewed. Today, the fountain and the garden remain listed historical monuments. But it's not just history. The garden is a living part of our campus life. We host community events here throughout the year, always with a nice view of the TV tower. Especially in the summer, it becomes one of the best places to study, relax, or just take a break in the heart of the city.